Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Great Wall Hobbies' latest release. This is the 1/48 scale A10C Thunderbolt II. And to be honest with you, they've just released the A10A, the sort of predecessor to this one as well. Anyway, we've waited some time for a decent A10C because let's face it, the only ones that are around at the moment are not brilliant. You've got the Trumpeter one, or Hobby Boss one. Really nice kit, no problem at all. It's a 48 scale, but it's more akin to definitely being the A than it is the C version, because all they've done is added a few parts for it. And admittedly, that's all they did on the real thing. But I just feel that that kit is the best in scale till now, or hopefully till now. And then after that, you've got, well, other things like the Italeri one, which the front end of it's not very nice at all. Accuracy isn't very good all the way through, but it's not as good as obviously the Hobby Boss one. And then what you go after that, Tamiya. And to be honest, that's just, it's accurate shape, but the rest of it is, yeah, it's showing its age. It's the old A1 when it was first released and things like that. So really what we need is a good, sharp, bang up to date A10C. So hopefully Great Wall Hobbies have come to the rescue on this particular one. So quick run round on the box. Nice box art. Been quite interesting there. Christ knows what he dropped to get an explosion that big. But anyway, we got various ones down in there like that. Nice marking options for this one. So again, we've got the traditional hog down in there as well from the 184th Fighter Squadron, 188th Fighter Wing, Fort Smith in 2008. We've got a little bit more of an up-to-date one down in here from the old Davis Monthan Air Force Base as well, from the 354th Fighter Squadron, 355 Fighter Wing 2020. And then something down in the back of time as well. We've got the Flying Tigers one down in there from the 74th Squadron, 23rd Wing out of Langley. And again, that's the classic with the sort of, you know, the shark's mouth onto the front of it done like that. Or we've got a little bit more of a plain one down in here from the 25th Fighter Squadron, 51st Fighter Wing, Osan Air Force Base, Pacific Fleet down there, 2016. Very, very nice indeed. All right. Kit number for this particular one is L4829. And then round on here, we just got some more blurb on it, just like that. So in the box, we are greeted by, wow. To be honest, it just shows, genuinely, haven't seen this kit before. I didn't know they'd done it that way, with a one-piece complete underbelly, just like that. So that's a change from every other A10 that I've seen out there. So definitely nice to see. And then we've got jumbo wings as well. Hey, it's like doing a Spitfire. It all bolts from underneath. So that's a new way of doing it. We've got some engines. So we'll take a little bit of detail about how the engines are done, because traditionally no one ever gets it right. They're usually too shallow and the fans are awful, but those look pretty darn good. We've got some ferry tanks down in there, and looks like we've got a QR jammer pod, and we've got a is that a lightning? No, it's a sniper pod down in there as well. We've got some more bombs as well, so it looks like we've got some laser guided bombs. We've got pylons, lots of sway braces, but hundreds of pylons on this thing. Very nice. That looks pretty good. Got some nice raised detail on there, which I was looking for. Engines, cockpit tub, all in one as well. Nice, nice, nice. And then we've got the outer winglets, some bits around the cockpit. And now I'm looking at this thinking all these bits you can see in this particular sprue is all ones for the sea. So they were obviously thinking ahead. And we've got the older Lightning pod as well. Is it Lightning 2? Down in there as well. Wheel wells, weapons, sidewinders, weapons, lots of little weapons as well. We've got another one down in here, which looks like it's the gear and various things. We've got another one down in here, which is pipe work and all the little tiny bits, pitos and things like that. More bombs, so JDAMs. Very nice. Ooh, there we go. Signs are getting better. Very nice as well for the engine parts. And then down in here we have, this, which is, I don't know if it's an empty box or it's got the clear parts. That has got the clear parts in it, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. We've got this, which is taped. Tell you what I'll do is, because I have no idea what's in this little box and I can't get it off. So we'll open this. I don't know if it's a weight or what it is. It's a weight. Got a weight. Okay. So we'll have a look at that as well. And then we've got oh dear, a book and a half. That's a big chunky book, that is. All right, and nice touch. We have a nice colour poster as well, and it's obviously got the markings on the back. And we've got another one, and we got another one for all the 4 varieties down in there as well. Wow, okay, so everyone was moaning about the cost of this kit. Oh no, we killed the camera. Come on, there we go. About the cost of this kit. But actually, seeing how much you get into it, I don't think it's too bad at all. Right, as always, we will start traditionally with the instructions. So we've got a booklet down in here like that. And this is a chunk. This is, I haven't seen an instruction book like this for a long time. Okay, so they've done it like that. So usual thing, got all your parts layout and all your parts going down into there with a special weight, which is nice. So we've got photo etch, we've got everything down in this kit. So usual thing, we've got the ACES 2 ejector seat, pretty much standard, and we've got the cockpit being fitted down in there right the way through. All right, so we've got that F16 stick and we've got an F15E throttle. It's a bit weird, but yes, so very, very nice throttles down in there as well. And obviously we've got the new, obviously for the C version as well. So you get a new throttle and stick and a new instrument panel with the C. So it's probably going to be a common tub. Although I don't know if it's the CDU, whatever it is. I don't know if that's the same between the A and the C versions. Looks like we've got decal callouts and various things down in here as well for actually doing some of these. We'll look at that a bit more closely in a moment. All right, seat, and obviously we've got the mechanics behind the seat as well for actually doing the canopy raise option, which is fine. So obviously most of us will probably do it open. So we've got those going. And again, you've got the big tub that it does sit into it in theory right the way through. We've got the instrument, cowling shroud as well. And then we've got the heads-up display fitted on the front with that up-front controller fits all in there as well, which is obviously akin to the C. All right, wheel well section goes down in there, so pretty much standard to every other A10 you've ever done. All right, down in there as well. We've got some bays down in here, so I assume the way that they've done this is that we've got some bays on the inside as well. So that's, I assume, the wheel well because it's off-centered actually. So that's the wheel well going down into there as well. There it is, fitted into there. And then we've got the outside plate going on there as well. So that's very nice as well. We've got a nice big panel running down the back. So hopefully that's a nice fit instead of having one seam replaced by 2. But hopefully it'll be very, very good. And it should follow the natural panel line as well. So again, a nice way of doing it. Refueling dock at the front as well. And then obviously instrument combing going in the front. A little bit different how they've done that one as well. All right. Then it's talking about the canopy, putting all the canopy. And obviously we've got some of the instrumentation that is attached to the canopy on there as well. No doubt those will be on the actual bow itself fitted to the front canopy. There we go. So we've got some of the bits down in there. Some of the sensors going on the front. I think these are the laser sensors being fitted down on here. Radar warning receivers fitted. And then we've got that nice part put through. It does hinge in real life. So it'd be interesting to see if it does the same. All right. That one's fitted in. And again, on the back here, we've got that GPS antenna, which is specific to the C as well. So obviously we've got an in plate down in there like that. All right. Gun fitted to the underside, so we don't get any gun detail at all, unlike obviously the Hobby Boss kit where obviously you have the full GWH system down in there which you can show it in or off the model as we've shown before. So a little bit disappointing for that as well. So it's literally just the barrel on the end fitted onto that one. Then we're talking about the lower wings and the various parts going down in there as well. So we've got those ones fitted into here. So we've got some of the bulkheads fitted onto that. And then down on here, we actually got the refueling panel over here, which remember is on the port side as well. So the refueling hose coming back and in to it. I don't know why, because you're not going to see it, but it does come with it. All right. And then obviously you've got tops to bottoms being fitted down on there to that one. Flaps being fitted in. Now, I haven't seen this style done on an A10 before, so I've never had problems with locating and hiding seams. So it's an interesting way of doing it, but it's something a little bit different. So one would assume it could be flaps up and down, however you want to do them. And then obviously we've got the actual, for the wheel well bays being fitted with the chaff and flare buckets at the back end of those as well. So those are being fitted down onto it. And then the nacelles for the sort of gear fits onto those, as you'd imagine. Outer wing parts going on, and again, you've got more chaff and flare buckets fitted onto that, which is pretty much more on the C than it is on the A version. All right, so that's pretty nice. We've got a little bit of fencing being fitted in there as well. Looks like it is plastic, but we do have photo etch as well for some of these leading edge blades onto the front down in here. Speaking of blades, fan blades. So again, we can have a look at this, but it does look they've got some very nicely produced the actual fan blades for the engines, which, useless piece of information, is the same engines that are used on the Viking as well. So those being fitted down in there as well. And then the engines going through. Again, unlike other manufacturers, like the Hobby Boss one, you've got no engine detail at all, so you can't open them up and show them as you would on some of those. But it does look like they're a little bit deeper, and the cell fitting onto these as well looks like it could be the correct depth, unlike the other ones. I don't know, it's hard to know until it's made up, but they do look buried, unlike the other ones, which is way, way too far forward. Then it's talking about that cube of weight. Check, we have the weight. This lumpy thing here. All right, so that's going to fit down underneath there, and that's your nose weight problem taken care of. Gear doors all been fitted, various parts on that as it all goes together. Main gear going together, again, looks very nicely detailed all the way through, so that looks pretty good. Some nice details on that one, and some decals can go on them as well, just to liven them up a bit. And the gear is all installed and plugged in. Then obviously we've got the doors and all the areas fitted onto it as well. And I think these ones are talking about if you were doing it gear up. So we got a gear up look as well. So there we go. It's just going to fit onto the actual doors and then drops in. So you've got that bit of wheel tire showing on there just like that. Then we've got these leading edge extensions down in here again. So choice on that one, you can either have them slow forward, slow speed. I think these are mechanical. They're spring loaded, so they will be forward if you're on the ground. All right. And then obviously we've got the tail. So on the tail, you've got obviously all the sensors, the radar warning receivers, etc., fitted onto the back of this one. And then you've got your speed brakes, which are quite nice. So hopefully we can display these open or closed as well with the speed brakes, because I tend to have mine half and half just to be awkward. All right, so these are actually your flapper-ons and double up as your speed brakes as well. Rudders as well, and with all these control surfaces, it looks like they're all fully posable. So that's very nice indeed. So we've got all of these are posable with the rudders, tailplanes, things like that, all the way through on there. Photo etch pointing up for the slime light areas for the night op stuff. So that's pretty good. All right, and then lumps and bumps being added right the way over it, as you might imagine. Pitos, things like that. Then we're up into the canopy set, so the internals, and we've got some mirrors which being fitted onto there as well, and then the actual parts being fitted in. Boarding ladder as well, some nice decal details for the insides of these as well, and it talks about putting areas for the slime lines in there as well. And then again, you've got the plate on here on the back as well. So depending if you have it open or closed, you'll be cutting off that bb at the back, how this fits in, because technically it's a little step tab to hold it up. But this will then join on to the mechanics on to the actual back of the seat, which is obviously the lift mechanism for the canopy itself. Pylons and sway braces, knock yourself out with all of that one. And then obviously we've got some Mavericks down in here. We've got the so we've got the lantern and the God, what was the one after the lantern? Yeah, the other one as well, fitted down on there. I can't remember its name now off the top of my head. Fuel tanks, jammer pods, sidewinders. You've got the normal lightning pod as well, so that's very nice. And then we've got some big old JDAMs fitted, different types of jammer pod. You've got the long one or you've got the short one as well on there as well, so depending which one you want to do. And then we've got decals for all your bits and pieces down in here as well. All right, so very, very nice as well. Sniper, that's what it's called. You have sniper pod, that's the sniper pod, and then somewhere else will be, there you go, that's the lightning, that's the sniper. Remembered it, I'm getting old. Loads of little marking options down in here for all the pylons, and I imagine there is lots of them on an A10, so you'll be fitting all of those through. And then you've got a nice little chart here showing the sort of weapons loadout on all the 11 pylons that you've got down in here on the actual A10. So you've got some nice sort of loadout ones with that as well. But as always I say, check your references and you can see all about it. Stencils, quite a few stencils to go down on this one as well, but not as many as you might find on other things like a Phantom. All right, so we've got those done. You've got your pay steps and the underside ones as well. Very nice indeed. Good instructions, good solid follow through. So if we do the big stuff, then we'll work our way into the small stuff. Giant poster, love it, absolutely love it. Speaking about that recently. And then obviously we got down in here for your, so you've got a shadow cockpit underneath and as well. So that's for the Pacific one. And then we got another one over here as well. So this is the Davis Montham one as well. Very nice, little bit of colour on that one. Personal favourite, if I'm honest, because it's got a shark's mouth on it. And every A10 I do either has a warthog or a shark's mouth. So very nice one on there. Or Viper. So we've got the one with the snake's head on that one, which is very nice as well, which is the Afghan one in 2018. And again, we've got the famous Warthog one down in there as well from Fort Smith in 2008. So very, very nice indeed. All right, some nice options all down with those. Okay, so where are we going to start? Let's start with the wing sections. Staples. I hate staples. I get attacked by staples. Huge one. Normally I have to zoom in for these, but not today, it would appear. As you can see, actually looks very, very nice. Typical of Great Wall Hobbies. It's in that light grey plastic, nice and tight. One of the big things with the A10, and has often been a problem with certain manufacturers, is the differences, because it's got raised and recessed detail right over it. And this does not disappoint. This is beautifully done, really sharp, very, very crisp. So if we start at the top, we've got the, these are actually your ailerons or air brakes, whichever way you want to call them. Beautiful mixture of raised and recessed details all the way through. Same for the other side. And then down on here, exactly the same as well. And obviously we've got the various ones for the nose section. We've got that refueling area as well on there. We've got the boarding steps. And then down in here, we've got underneath for the gun. So this is a shroud with the vents for the gun and the various parts. The big thing is the wing area, as you can see, beautifully done, sharp, very, very crisp. Inside the wheel well details as well, looks very, very nice. And then up here on the front, you can see the various access doors. So this is actually for the drum, for the ammo door, access door in there. But down in here is the really nice stuff. You can probably see, I get the right angle here, the beautifully way that this is raised and recessed details all down the back. So all of this is raised riveting, just like the real thing, mixed in with recessed panel lines. Beautifully done, really, really sharp, very crisp indeed. On the insides, again, good, nice, big open areas down in here for your actual pylons to come up through. So that's very, very nice, good, solid kit. All right. Okay, let's go through some of the big stuff, and I'll try and do it. Apologies for the noise. One of the industrial units next door is deciding to have some major metal work done. Okay, so over here we've got the engines and the various parts, but we've got the nice stuff. We've got the cockpit, the quilting, the seat, and areas just like that as well. So yeah, very, very nice. Again, it's one of these things, this area around with the engines, it's nice, it's clean, it's crisp, it's sharp. We've got some really good, deep intakes as well for the intakes. The engine, cockpit area, it's got all the raised details down in there, just like that. And obviously nice details behind the cockpit area. Sides of the seats, I don't think you're going to have to run down the aftermarket route because they're very nicely done. Soundproofing and the quilting down on the actual cockpit sidewalls. Very nicely done. And there's the seat. Doesn't look too bad at all. Then over here we've got the wheel well for the nose wheel well side. Flap areas. Top of the nose bay as well. Top of that nose wheel area. Beautifully done. Really detailed. Nice little bit of plumbing and wiring going all the way through that. Very nice to see. Tops of the engines. Nice recessed panel lining and riveting all the way through, and again looking very nice and clean and crisp on the rear parts. All the ejector pins are either been semi-polished out, which you can probably see in these, and they're all either flush or recessed. Very nice. Right, okay, let's do the fuselage, and then we can move into some of the smaller parts. He says smaller, not really. Okay, so you might imagine very much a mixture of the raised and the recessed. I wonder if they actually still have that. What I'm talking about here is the bolts for the actual old pave penny, wasn't it, that was sat on the side. So this was actually the original Seeker for dropping guided weapons. It used to be on a station here. Now it's been replaced obviously by the lantern and then the sniper pod. But originally it was on here, and you do have the 4 bolts. You have that big piece of metal with it on and hanging on the bottom. Do they still have the bolts that stack right out? You'd have thought they'd have hoofed them off by now. But yeah, but generally you can probably see down in here, great detail, sharp, crisp for all these panels. I know when I did the big 30-second build of the Trumpeter A10, we opened all of this up to show all of this stuff. But it's beautifully done here. So I'm going to Be very surprised if the aftermarket guys don't run in to fill this void. Again, nice touch. All of this raised riveting down the back here is really nice, really crisp. All the way through, you've got this raised all down here. You probably hear it if I give it the old test. So yeah, really very, very nice. Internals, there's not a lot going on, but what is nice big locating tabs, nice and secure. This thing's going to be an absolute beast when it's together. So no problem with any of that. So that's actually all looking very, very nice indeed. We like it. We like it a lot. Catch it. Light. Camera going to play. There we go. Very, very good. Okay, whilst we've got that out, we might as well do the wings as well. So wing section. And we've got the top of the wing. Again, looks nice, good, clean, sharp. We start at one end. There we go. That actually looks pretty darn good. All recessed. Looks very nice indeed. And again, you've got a nice little bit of strengthening in sides, just to keep it nice and solid and rigid right the way through with those ones. Down on these are your rudders. So you've got one each side, and they've got a mixture of raised sort of strengthening panels into them and the recessed. That's very nice indeed as well. So that's cool. Okay, over here we've got the tailplane type stuff down in here. So you can see we've got a mixture. This is raised rivets all down in here, looking very nice as well. So we've got both of those. Got the underside with the lump, which is obviously very important because you don't get that on the A. All right, and then again, all raised detail with all the riveting. Very, very nice right the way through. Now this is something that's a little bit different. This center seam that's going to run through, and again, millions of rivets on here. So it is a case of all the way to the end. So it's heavily riveted both sides. So that's actually quite nice. As long as that's a nice seam, because otherwise you're going to lose these rivets when you try and tidy it up. But I assume it should be very, very nice indeed. Hopefully it'll be a good fit on that one. And again, good, clean, crisp underneath. So that's very nice indeed. Okay, now we can somewhat get to the smaller or smallish type stuff. So down here, sprue J, very much gear orientated down in here. So we've got all the gear parts, various bits you can probably see looking good. We've got your tires, we've got weight on wheels as well, so that looks pretty darn good. So we've got the nose, wheel, main gear, all the various bits. Hubs looking very nice as well, so that's good. Okay, then over here we've got the, I think these are more akin to the parts for the C. Well, you do get a lightning pod in here. So just as it's here, we've got the little lightning 2 pod. Pretty much standard, favourite to everything. I'm sure if you like me, you've got a box full of them. All right, but down in here, we've got this one. This is definitely for the C parts down in here. So what we've actually got is an instrument panel for the C. We've got the lumps and bumps, you know, various parts. These goes on the tail, which got the blanking plates on now. All right, we've got the different instrument combing on the top, because it's squared off now, whereas the other one had the bits down the side and all the rest of it. So that's slightly different on this one. Slightly different as well. We've got the radar warning receivers down in here on the front as well. So that's a few little difference. It's got a different stick, because obviously it's got the F-16 style stick grip as well. And again, down in here, we've got that GPS antenna behind the cockpit as well. So that's slightly different to some of the other bits as well. There's also some subtle little things down in here, the venting down the side for the gun area. And again, so I'm pretty sure sprue O is going to be for the C, and we won't see that with the B. So that's that one. Right, what else have we got? Engines, that's an important one. So this is going to be a twin, got the same. So down here on sprue M, you can see, so we've got some nice, you know, blades in the various areas. We've got the pipe, and again, this has got the correct riveting right the way over it as well. So that's nice. The main lump compressor, front end, both sets down in there as well. And we've got the weight on wheels. Nice weight on wheels as well. They're proper flat. So I'm wondering if you get 2 types, because we've got 2 wheels here and this is a max set, and this thing doesn't have 5 wheels. So we've got, looks like, 1 for when it's in the air. Ah, right, got you. That's obviously when it's in the air in the up position, so they've cut off the top. This one down in here has a little bit of weight on wheels, not as much. All right, could put it on, give it a flat tire. Again, extra flare buckets that are more akin to the C than obviously they were on the 8 as well. And again, we've got the hubs down in there as well. All right, so that's very nice indeed. Okay, so over here we've got the multiple aerials on this little thing. So sprue N, we've got all the small little parts, as you can see, lots and lots and lots of them down on here with all the antennas, some of the actuators as well. Various one, we've got that big sort of U1 underneath the cockpit area, so there's that one. Right, okay, so down in here we won't get these out because these are literally just going to be the engine, engine wheel well nacelles that go on the wings, so that's those. We've got weapons and various things, so we've got the pylons, which we've seen. These are all really nice recessed details all the way through, and rays, so you've got the lumps and bumps and raised rivets on all of these, which is quite nice. Then obviously we've got some GWUs, laser guided ones. Then we've got that big ferry tank, and again, really nice. It's got the raised strapping and things down on there. Then we've got the sniper pod, very nice. Then we've got the short, no, sorry, that's the long, I think. Hard to tell. I think that's the long jammer pod down on there, which it is, because there's the short version of it. And then again, we've got some Mavericks. So we've only got 2 Mavericks, so you can't load it up like you used to do the famously the Tamiya one. A little bit overcomplicated, if I'm honest, because why you'd need to put this all together quite like that in this day and age is beyond me, especially being Great Wall Hobbies used to be the master of slide molding and things like that. What happened? They'd given up because it's not got slide molded weapons and all the rest of it like we used to see on the MiGs and flankers and things like that. So anyway, you've got to put these all together now, which is a real shame. GBUs, so we've got the really, really big ones, and then we've got the small little 7-shot rocket pods, which you could load up with illumination flares and things if you wanted to. And then we've got the smaller little JDAMs as well. So we've got the big 2000 pounder and we've got the small 250, or are these 500s? Might be 500s actually, as well, for these as well, for the GBO 38s. All right. So we've got those as well. Another nice touch with this one, which we will have a look at, is the engine ring. That's why I don't like staples. I hate staples. All right, so we've got that tail. This is the back end for tail at the end, and it's the various things. And you see, beautifully riveted, and it is slightly slide molded in one, which is nice because, again, rivets and things just don't get on well with this one. And again, beautifully done with all the riveting right the way around here. This is one of the engine exhaust areas. So we get 2 of those as well. So that's very nice indeed. I can pop that bit just back in there. Get this out, do that. Keep it all nice and safe. We have a weight, which is just literally a cube of steel. Really heavy. Very nice indeed. So we've got 1 of them. And then we've also got clear parts. Down in here. So, funny enough, they haven't moulded it in, and a lot of them do. So we do have a very fine centre seam line down in here, but don't forget there is an aerial that comes up the back about halfway. So you've only got to take care of the very, very top part. And again, I love this. This is what I love. Every manufacturer should do this because it's just great. So instead of having it traditionally the canopy and then it drops on the top, you go to the nearest panel line, which just makes it so much easier and nicer. So you don't have to worry about any fogging issues or glue marks in there or anything else like that. All right, really nice. We do have a HUD, which again is this 2-piece HUD type system, which I'm not a fan of. I would rather pop the glass in afterwards. Some of these other bits down in here. So we've got the sniper pod glass down in here as well. And then I assume we'll have 1 big lump and 1 small window for the lantern pod. And then obviously you've got nav lights and things like that there as well. So that's very nice indeed. And then last up, we can pop in here for the decals and the small bits. So again, another staple. we've got a nice little bit of photo etch, and this is really for those lights, for the night navigation lights, and a couple of other bars in there as well. So that's really, really nice with that. So that's good. Then we've got for the weapons. So you've got them down there for the pylons and the pods. So multiple ones down in there like that. Then we've actually got walkways. And this is what we're talking about. So you've got instrument panel down in here as well. And also you've got decals for the sides. And the various parts down in here as well. So we've got those ones all the way through, all the sort of various things. And also we have got done in a metally colour as well down in here for the chaff and flare buckets, open and full. So again, you can have it on both on those ones as well. No slip walkways, things like that. And we've got the slime lights just down in here as well. And then last up, we've actually got the markings themselves. So beautiful, very nice. Clearly everyone will do this one because it's the best. Second best, third best. But yeah, very nice. They look good. They look a little bit flat, if I'm honest. There's not a lot of shine to these. If I try and catch it in the light, you can see. But again, good, strong colour, nice registration. Really nothing to worry about at all. And there you have it. What do I think? What do I think? What do I think? I think it's great. Really excited. I like the way they've done that wheel, the actual under wing with the top wing is one part. Haven't seen that before. Normally it's just plug it in the side, so that's quite nice. Detail looks really, really nice all the way through. Concerns are there, like, God, I hope that top part fits in with no problem at all. Otherwise, you're going to have a real pain. So I would say before you commit to glue the two halves together, test fit them with that plank running down the middle at the back, because you want that to be literally a drop-in fit. Because if you need to sand it, all the hundreds of thousands of gorgeous rivets in this kit are going to get lost. So it's just going to be an awful waste of time doing that entire thing. You'd have been better off having a centre seam in the middle. All right. But I remember when we did it, even with the 32nd one, we had to sand and do the seam lines. And then we used to have to put raised rivets all back in because we'd lost them through it. So this way, if it works, should actually neglect that whatsoever. So it should go together really, really well with it. Really, I can't see a downside with this kit right the way through. It looks absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure Quinta will be along soon and various other companies as well, doing little bits of aftermarket for it as well. But generally, straight out of the box, I think it's an absolute beautiful kit. A little bit disappointed we didn't get any sort of slide molded weapons and things like that. I don't know what's happened. They seem to have given up on that, probably because it is incredibly expensive and they've gone down a cheaper route with it. The other thing as well, a lot was said when this was being released and before it came out about the price, because there was people shouting about it being a £100 kit. It's not. And we've actually got it up on the PM store right now. And we've only got a handful left at these at just £79.99. Do I think that's good? I think that's great value for money. You've got a ton of plastic down in here with a great, highly detailed kit. So I think really 80 quid, 48 scale, brand new tooled. No problem at all. I think that's actually not too bad a price. I was expecting it to be nearer the 100, then I would have had a sheer problem about it. If it's been a £100 kit, no, because there's other options out there. But again, we're now into that thing. Personally, you've got the Hobby Boss one. They're not bad, they're not brilliant. But again, if you want to do it on a lot more of a budget, you've got that one. You've got the Academy one as well. It's okay. Again, for the money, I still rather do the Hobby Boss one. And then if you want to do one with a little bit more detail, a lot sharper, some really nice touches onto this one, and I think it's definitely a more accurate C version than it is over its contemporaries, which are all upgraded A's. Then I think this is definitely the place to go if you're going to do a 1/48 scale kit. And if you're doing 1/32, the legendary trumpeter one, which isn't brilliant and it's not nice, but it's in 1/32 and it's the only one out there, so what you're going to do, eh? Anyway, there we go, the Great Wall Hobbies 1/48 scale A10C Thunderbolt II.